Hey y'all, Zach here. In today's video, I'm gonna be showing you the 3 things that will help you get over your 405-pound deadlift slump. Honorable mention is gonna be my workout program. It's a program I designed explicitly for strength training and hypertrophy. It helped me get to a 600-pound plus deadlift within less than 2 years of training. You can see me doing that right here. We're gonna see if I can hit this shit or not. Fuck, everyone's watching, so you better hit it. Again, it's only $5, less than a Big Mac, but more fulfilling. All right, without wasting your time any further, let's get straight into today's video. So, if you can already deadlift 405, I need you to understand you are one of the strongest people on the planet, regarding statistics, right? Among the general population. You can see that right here. So I want you to go ahead and be proud of yourself immediately. Obviously though, if you're, talking in terms of powerlifting, I wouldn't say at the bottom of the barrel. It obviously depends on your body weight, but a 405 deadlift is a lot more common. And you're probably clicked on this video so you could actually exceed your 405 deadlift. So number one, that my biggest advice for people is probably going to be, increasing the frequency, right? And I'm just saying 2 days a week. So you could actually explicitly train this workout. I would probably recommend maybe dropping squats so you could, level out the CNS demanding, workouts throughout the week, since deadlift is like number one, and pretty much adding squats on top of that is going to make you feel like a train wreck, right? Because deadlift makes you recruit a lot of muscles at once, so you're obviously going to feel a lot sluggish the next training session. And that's why it's important for these 2 days you train one that's probably higher frequency but lower weight, and the next day you do like a top set. So the way we're going to do this is, maybe do 90% of your top set or 90% of your max on your top set days, and do about 50% for a working set on your low frequency days, right? And the reason why I'm doing 2 days is so not only can we work on form, but we can also see what are we working with so far, right? And as someone who's been training deadlift for still less than 2 years, but I'd say about 2 years is a good enough time to actually, get into deadlift and know what the hell you're doing. I'm still learning the ropes myself. And as of recently, I've also kind of laid down on the weight, and try to go back to the basics, the forms, just trying to really, learn how to actually deadlift. You can see me doing that right here. First thing first, brace. Try to fill your stomach with as much air as possible, and then extend your arms and try to make them as long as possible. You see, I'm using the hook grip variation. Now I pull the slack is by bringing my arms to my armpits, and boom. And again, this is my low weight, more frequency kind of days. I personally like to do singles, but here I'm going to be repping it. But that's how you want to do it on your low days, right? And the biggest thing is we got to lower the ego, so we got to lower the weight. How do you expect to get better at deadlifting if you don't know how to properly do it? And again, one of the biggest cues is just really trying to pull that slack out. And the way I pull the slack out is by looking forward and really just retracting pretty much your arms to your armpits, right? That's the best way to pull the slack out. And again, everything is very, very precise and mechanical when it comes to deadlifting, because this is an exercise where you could really hurt yourself and something can go really wrong. And we don't want that to happen. So again, 2 days a week, this is going to really help with mastering the lift. And that's what we want to do. How do you expect to, be better at something if you can't master it? So again, 1 day is for top sets and the other day is just for form work. So that's what I'd 100% recommend you doing. Number 2 is going to have to be accessories. I like to think of accessories as side quests, side missions, right? The deadlift is the main boss, and how do you expect to beat a boss if you can't level up, on your side missions, like level up your character, your stats? And that's what accessories are mainly used for, right? And the biggest accessories that come to mind are hamstring curls, honestly low back or low bar squats, my bad. And then the biggest thing is RDLs. You can see me doing RDLs right here. Fortunately for me, my gym actually has an RDL machine, but fret not, if you don't have one, that's okay. Before I had a really cool gym, I was at another gym that didn't have this machine. And you could do this on a conventional deadlift platform, just with the bar and just doing what I'm doing right now, just RDLing, hip hinging with some weight. Again, luckily my gym does have this, and these make a huge difference with overall gains and just overall hypertrophy. This is an exercise that I would just recommend to anyone, even if you aren't trying to increase your deadlift. It's a 10 out of 10 exercise. You really can't go wrong. And again, RDLs top five for sure. RDLs are probably one of the best ones because again, it's another deadlift variation and it hits everything that the deadlift hits, just better, especially heavier emphasis on your hamstrings. And your hamstrings are really important when it comes to deadlifting because that's what takes over. Not your low back, not your back in general, your hamstrings, especially, you know, paired with your glutes and your spinal erectors. And another good accessory would be your hip thrust. Hip thrust is an amazing exercise accessory because that's what helps with your lockout. Your glutes is what finishes the top half of the deadlift. So either, you know, do Bulgarian split squats, which also really emphasize your glute strength and your glute muscles, but, you know, some hip thrust in there as well. So don't, you know, skip out on your accessories. That's just pretty much doing your homework and studying for like the big test that's coming up. You got to do that. And number three, I'm going to have to admit, like, you're going to have to either, it really depends on where you are at body weight wise, but number three is probably going to be like either lose weight or add some weight. Right, losing weight can actually benefit your deadlifts because of your leverage points. If you are having a harder time, you know, hip hinging and like having your arms, you know, turn into hooks, right? Because when you deadlift, you want to lengthen your arms as much as possible to get to that bar without, you know, compromising your position. Sometimes you're going to have to, you know, lean that gut out, right? Have your abs come out. And that can help improve your leverage when it comes to deadlifting. And then, you know, vice versa, or the opposite of that is probably adding some weight on. Because again, how do you expect to move some big weight if you're not big yourself? That pretty much applies to any other type of lift, right? You got your bench, your squat, all that kind of stuff. But deadlift is a very, you know, interesting case because a lot of people notice that when they lose weight, their leverages improve for deadlifting and they can actually pull more weight. It really just depends on your body mechanics and, you know, the way you're built, right? So that comes down to that. But yeah, I do want to end this conversation with, like, if you're deadlifting 405, don't feel like you're behind. You are genuinely not. I mean, statistically, you are not. You are like among one of the 1 to 12% among the world population's strongest people. Again, obviously, if you are, you know, thinking within the scope of powerlifting, I wouldn't say you're still behind, right? You're, you know, deadlifting 405. You're still genetically impressive, but obviously there is more work to do, and that's what we are all here for when it comes to, you know, improving ourselves in the gym. It's building character, not only building muscle, but, you know, becoming a better person at the end of the day. But, you know, let me know how much you guys could deadlift down in the comment section below, and if there's any other video topics you'd like me to cover. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you guys, you know, enjoyed the content. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you.